Good morning, 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 morning. I think we are good with the microphone. Yes, 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 yes. And we are ready to jump right into this set because, according to Mr. Jean Francois, the leader of the day, he said he is quite windy. No pun intended, since I won't be talking about the weather, about the songs and the choices that he has made. So he kind of encouraged me to not talk about the weather, which I haven't actually talked about all that much in the past couple of live streams, correct? I haven't said too much about the weather. So how about we just have another day where we don't talk about the weather? I do want to say before we get started that we are booked all the way through March 20th-ish. So, yep. Let's get into this. I did get another set from Mr. Bryce Tax, which is his second set that he'll have in the next couple of weeks. So we're just adding more and more. The other thing I will say too is I'm a little perturbed this morning because last night I stayed up till like 2:33. I thought, oh, this shouldn't take too long. And I started my taxes at about like 1. I thought I'll put it into TurboTax as a dry run to see what it's going to say. Even though I haven't paid for TurboTax in like, I don't know, 2 or 3 years, because it's just like everything else. Once they get you in and they get like popular, they just start ripping you off. So I put in my taxes and somehow, I don't even know how, it's saying that I owe the government $1,400. And there's just no way. I've never paid that much in tax. Nothing changed from last year. So I have no idea where they're getting the number that I owe $1,400 when they took out like 16 grand from me this past year. So I'm not paying them another 14 grand or $1,400 because they don't deserve it, for one, and two, they need to give me money back. That's what I was expecting, was to get money back, and somehow they're saying that I owe another $1,400. Don't think that's something's off. Something's off because I've never paid that. Yeah, and that's funny because I don't know if you guys saw, which, by the way, it's a good reminder. Thank you, Para, for saying that. When you guys send money, please send it in a personal thing, like a personal gift. Never send it. I think I've never sent it from the PayPal option or whatever, but supposedly there's 2 options. One is for like business or services. Don't do that, because if you do that, then I have to declare that. But if you do it for like a personal, because my wife sometimes sends me money through my PayPal account to pay back for something or to give me money for something like a house payment or something like that. And they better not try to tax you on that, because that's you just giving yourself money. So I think they're going to have a lot of issues going forward with this, because I could just see, number one, they shouldn't even be dumping into this money already. And number two, there's just going to be a lot of problems because people send stuff personally and then people send stuff for business. So I think this is going to cause a huge problem. But of course, the government's trying to get their fingers on everything they can when they give like trillions and trillions of dollars to Ukraine and not its citizens. It's got to pay for it somehow. So they'll just try to rip into everybody's pocket somehow. Yeah. So just make sure you do it as a gift or as a personal thing. I doubt they're watching this live stream, dude. And I doubt they're going to care about the measly $3,000 that I make from YouTube a year. So anyway, just telling you guys to do that for future purposes. But yeah, they did say, because it was supposed to go into effect for 2022, they did say that it wasn't going to happen until next year, because I guess at the last minute they realized that they are getting a lot of pushback for it. So I'm guessing that they're probably, hopefully, at least thinking about it a little bit, because it's just a dumb thing and it's just, quite frankly, bullshit. Just like the whole income tax thing is bullshit, but we'll get off of that. And we'll move right into what Jean-Francois' book is about. So are we ready for Jean-Francois' book? Let's do it. So he says, the idea of this set came up to me while I was reflecting on my musical journey since I was a child. Okay. I chose 5 songs that turned out to be a turning point in my musical tastes in a took me by surprise, blow me away kind of mode. They defined what unexpectedly became the cornerstone of what I was looking for in music, the very first taste of a new musical exploration for me. So this is the 5 songs, I guess, that really changed Jean-Francois' musical taste. So keep that in mind. I don't know when this happened. Maybe he'll say it here in a second, but keep that in mind. They also happen to be the first track of their respective albums. Okay, the first notes operating as sensations, bringing back emotional memories for the first time I listened to them. Interesting. So when he hears the notes, kind of like very sentimental in value. We called that Madeleine de Proust. De Proust? I don't know how to say it in French. Which refers... Madeleine de Proust. Madeleine de Proust. Is that right? I've never taken anything in French, so I know I'm butchering this. Sorry, but I've never heard... All I've heard is from movies and how they... Madeleine de Proust. So, who knows? Which refers to the memory of a sensation you had when you were younger. Hear the taste of pastry/biscuit that French author Marcel Proust. I don't know how to say ST in French. It's Proust. I'm just gonna say Proust because that's what I think it should be. Describes in his novel In Search of Lost Time. I don't know if there is an equivalent expression in English. For each track, I thought it interesting to give you the context in which I find myself discovering them. Please do not mention the band or the song before reading the comments. Okay, I will try to do that. As I bring them up in the description I give. The bands and or songs relatively well known in their genres. Okay, so I'm not going to read it. For number 1, he says, in 1988, I was into a lot of punk rock music in the likes of Tears for Fears. Tears for Fears was considered pop rock. I said punk rock. I read it wrong. I was like, Tears for Fears is not pop or punk rock. Got it. Simple Minds, Midnight Oil, NXS, Phil Collins, Joe Cocker, Queen, Michael Jackson, etc., etc. That year I attended my very first concert, famous French composer Jean-Jacques Goldman, who came from a progressive band, and that was also the year I had my very first CD, Jean-Michel Jarre. How the fuck, dude? Come on. You're killing me here. It's called Revolutions, the artist known for being one of the pioneers in the electronic genre. I really like this because we're getting an idea of Jean-Francois as well as we read this. One day I borrowed a tape from my brother as I was intrigued by the cover art. 2 hands holding a bar with space in the background. Puzzling to say the least, the band was Supertramp. The album was Crime of the Century from 1974, which is also the year of my birth. Oh, okay. I knew some of their more popular songs, but I hadn't made acquaintance with their hidden gems yet. So School is the name of the track. As soon as I played it, the sound of the harmonica invaded my ears and invited me to an untypical structure of a song that led me to the first kind of innocent vibe before leading to an instrumental breakdown led by the piano that I just adore, almost worship. And that made me say to myself, upon that first listening, all right, I want to know and feel much more about this uncommon type of music labeled as prog related. All right, so here we go with Supertramp School. I can totally see why this stood out to your memory. That's a really cool intro. Now I gotta go back and read your guys' fucking comments since I just read a book. You can't lick off my mohawk. It seems kind of low. I'm gonna turn it up. Is it gonna get loud?
I can see you in the morning when you go to school. Don't forget your books, you know you gotta learn the gold.
Why is it so low?
The teacher tells you stop your playing, get on with your work. And be like Johnny Too Good. Don't you know he never shirks? He's coming along.
It's gonna get loud. Yeah, this totally sounds like 70s music. Already, it sounds like that.
After school's over, you're playing
It
in
sounds
the
like
park.
Pink Floyd. I love it.
Don't be out too late. Don't let it get too dark. They tell you not to hang around and learn what life's about. And grow up just like them. Won't let you work it out. And you're full of doubt.
I like that note. That was very cool how it just went down like that. The fade of the note. I dig this. This is very like it's 70s sounding without it being too druggy. Yeah. Maybe it'll turn into that. Cool. I like that bass line. I will definitely say I don't know these guys very well either. Colin always got to pull out the double time reference. There's some 70s porn music right there. Yeah, I've also only heard this band by their name. I might have heard their songs and not known it was them, but... I like that bass line. Yeah, I do feel like Herman would like this a lot.
You're coming along.
I would have... Is this the end of the song? Man, that was just... If that's the end of the song, is that the end of the song? Yeah. That's kind of weird because I was expecting... It like just seemed like it went by like that. Maybe because that intro was so kind of like long before it kind of kicked into anything. But I would have to say that's probably one of the best sounding engineered 70s songs I've heard. Personally, when I hear 70s songs, it, like I said, it doesn't sound as druggy. Like, it just sounds terribly produced, really druggy, and just kind of like, meh. Like, it just makes me feel like, meh. Kind of like the fashion of the time as well. But that song, I don't know, the production value was really good. I felt like it had a nice little groove. Felt like you were relaxing, but not completely. Definitely enjoyed that intro harmonica sound that you referred to, Jean-Francois. So that's, yeah, I think that would probably go on a playlist for me. Short and sweet, wasn't too long. Um, yeah, that'd be a nice kind of like background, just relaxing kind of song. So yeah, nice work. I did want to mention before we get into the second song. After this, I am going to the Arnold Classic. I don't know if you guys know, but Columbus isn't famous for a lot of stuff, although Ohio kind of is. We've had like 3 or 4 presidents from Ohio. Um, but Ohio is Ohio. But one thing that has always been famous about Columbus is every year at this time, the Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic is always held downtown here in Columbus. And it's been like that for what, 15, 20 years, I think they've had it here. And I've never gone to it because half of that I was in a different country. But I'm going to go to it today, and I just think it's going to be funny because I did go to a UFC a couple of times, not to the actual UFC event, but I was in like the hotels and stuff like that during a UFC. I think it was like the Frank Mir, Brock Lesnar first fight. And so I saw Joe Rogan walking around. I saw a bunch of UFC fighters walking around. BJ Penn was walking around. And I remember like seeing them live in person, especially Joe Rogan. Like I didn't realize how short Joe Rogan was until I saw him in person. And I didn't realize how fucking big some of the guys were until you see him in person. So it's going to be funny for me to go to this and see these big bodybuilders, because a lot of the bodybuilders are really short, and that's how they can get so thick and big. So it'll just be interesting to see them walking around, and there's going to be I think they said they're expecting 100,000 people to be down there today. So could be insane. I don't hope there's any like freaking mass shooting or anything like that happens, knock on wood. I always get weary about going down to big things like this, like freaking 4th of July shit. I avoid because of that, like some bomb going off because some people are crazy. So anyway, if somebody does start shooting, I'm sure there'll be some bodybuilders that'll do something about it maybe. But I'm going to go down there. They also have not just the bodybuilding competitions, they have the strongman competition, which I'm going to get to see. So I don't get to go to see the finals because that's tonight, but like you get to see the prelims and stuff like that of them doing that. They have Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu championships. It's a pretty big kind of competition down there. They have girls pole dancing. Can't wait to see that. And there's just a bunch of different kinds of like competitions down there that are not just bodybuilding. So it's going to be quite interesting to go down there, but I wanted to say that. Yeah, so yeah, 100,000 people is going to be crazy. I'm kind of a little nervous about it, but at the same time, it'll be cool, I think. All right, so getting back to the book. I did like that song, Jean-Francois, so good first opener. He says, in 1993, I was beginning to delve into the modern progressive offerings of bands I didn't know had such impact and unique approach in their older years. One of the bands was one by which I already discovered their 1992 album called We Can't Dance, and I was instantly attracted to their longer tracks such as Driving the Last Spike or Fading Lights. They released their live album, The Shorts and the Longs, the latter of which completely blew me away with the discovery of the band's modern touch that were Home by the Sea and Domino. But that was the old medley lasting 19 minutes that amazed me and made me wanting more, saying to myself, oh, that is something different with a unique atmosphere. I was still stimulated by modern sounding music, but what if I tried something much older? Even though I don't know why, I had some reluctance to go that far back in the past. One day in a music store, I was looking randomly at some of the older albums by the band, and I instantly knew it was different, looking at the appealing, puzzling cover arts. Foxtrot from 1972 was the album that I chose, just because I saw there was a 23-minute track called Supper's Ready. I hope this isn't 23 minutes. But it was the first eerie sound of Mellotron, sounding like a religious anthem that was completely astounding me, along with that uncomfortable rhythm with the unconventional drumming by Phil Collins, along with the strangely odd, or old, sounding voice of Peter Gabriel. I was discovering old Genesis for the first time. Watcher of the Skies is the name of the song, and I felt that I was nosediving in a complete different musical realm. There is a kind of repetition throughout the song, but I learnt to appreciate the subtle arrangements, and every time I listen to it, it always brings me back to that rite of passage feeling. I knew I touched something different, even though it took me time to grab the very essence of that music. Genesis is still today my favorite progressive rock band of the 70s, and I'm happy to be able to attend beautiful current renditions by Steve Hackett or the Italian band The Watch, who bring back the magic of the compositions. So this is Genesis, Watcher of the Skies. Let's go. Manuel Romero, I wasn't saying they would stop the bullets. I'm saying when you have people like that, they tend to fight back more than they tend to run or hide. Which is, I have a theory of why a mass shooting has yet to happen at a gym, but I'm waiting for it to happen at a gym. I think people know when they go into a gym, you're more likely to find people that are going to be aggressive. I think same thing with a bodybuilding competition. You're going to have more of like men that care about testosterone and shit. And they're going to kick your ass. They're not just going to sit there and be like, is my guess. Oh yeah, the John Jones fight is tonight. I think he's going to lose. I think it's a bad idea for him to come back, but that's just my opinion. I think it's funny, though, that you thought when I said that they would stop the situation that I meant like their muscles would stop bullets. You guys are freaking retarded. Okay, picking up. Here we go. Wait, how long was this song? I guess it's like a 7-minute song. So we'll see. Is that Phil? I would guess Herman knows this song as well. Oh, it's Peter Gabriel singing, okay. Yeah, I would agree, Jean-Francois, that it's not like a straight beat. It keeps kind of like moving a bit. Yeah, it's kind of like a... This is the end of man's long human earth. Dude, I like that. Yeah, Para, I would actually say that jiu-jitsu fighters, bodybuilders tend to be the most chill because they don't have a lot to prove. They know their worth, kind of, like they know their power. That was my experience in jiu-jitsu. Because they know they could kill you in an instant, they just don't feel the need to be overly masculine. From life alone to life so interesting that this is Peter Gabriel singing because it sounds like Phil to me.
Though your ship be sturdy, no mercy has the sea. Will you survive on the ocean of being?
Dude, that's like da 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 da.
Ancient children, you would say, this is my parting counsel for you anyway.
I liked your pun, Jim. Building.
Sadly, now your thoughts turn to the stars.
I am gonna say that I still like the first song better than this one so far. I'm gonna put that.
Of the skies, watch revolve.
Okay.
This is your fate alone. This fate is your own.
Ooh, we've got a bunch of people who like this one better than the first one. Yeah, I think the reason I like the first one maybe a little bit better than this one is because this one kind of seems a little less cohesive. Yeah, but I agree, Para. Like, I need to... Ooh, I really like this part. Nice. Is that the end? Cucumber, why do you hate the organ sound? Yeah, I kind of like that ending. Like, that was a really cool ending. I felt like it was going to keep going into that, but it just kind of ended. So I'm guessing maybe it went into something else. But, yeah, I would say it was a little kind of, I don't know, maybe not too cohesive, but part of that I was talking in between that too. So when I listened to it again a second time, it's very close to the first one. Like, I put the first one first and then this one second. But I think when I listen to it a second time, we'll have to see. I did dig that. So we'll have to, yeah, we'll have to see. All right, so back to the book. All right, number 3. In 1994, I was already listening to more edgy hard rock styles in the likes of Deep Purple, Guns N' Roses, Nirvana, or Rage Against the Machine. A friend of mine told me there was more to look for, and this is how I discovered a kind of heavier sound with the listening of an album called The Black Album. Metallica's magnum opus was a great discovery for me, as I found it quite accessible and not so difficult to grasp compared to what I thought of what was considered heavy, but I didn't know what they had released before that album breakthrough. And then later on, he told me, okay, the Black Album is surely a safe entrance, but let's listen to the dark side of the Force now. He put the CD in the player, and Blackened, with its inversed guitar introduction and its sudden heavy speed rhythm start, exploded in my ears. I didn't know what to think of it at first. What was that? Was it really for me? I was completely taken by surprise, even resisting, unaware that such a type of heaviness could seize me like that. And the rest is history. I discovered the much praised Decade of Metallica, and I was led into real heaviness. I also realized the cover art with the statue has still an effect on me, reminding me of that first approach to the dark side. to That Day and Justice for All is my favorite album by Metallica. So this is Blackened by Metallica. Here we go. I don't think I know this song. I know this album, of course. Maybe when I hear it, I will. I was never huge into Metallica. Yeah, I don't think I know this song. I know the album, but... Nice. This sounds like Dyer's Eve, but Dyer's Eve is on this album, right? I can't believe I don't know that song. You guys are probably gonna crush me for that, but I never was into Metallica that much. It sounds very compressed. Anybody else hear that? I can play Dyer's Eve on drums. Remember that? In high school, that was for college. That was like my, okay, I'm going to test my double bass skills by playing Dyer's Eve. Yeah. Yeah, I can totally, that sound of the double bass brings back Dyer's Eve memories for me. This definitely doesn't have the same energy as Dyer's Eve. To me. Yeah, this is my... Okay, Jim. So me and Jim are popping our cherries here. Like that. Blackened! I think I was a little, not old. I got into the Black album, of course, like everybody else did, because that was kind of new at the time. But I was never into heavy metal, and Black album kind of got me into. And then when I started playing drums, of course, at that time, Lars was like the thing, until Mike Portnoy came along. I hope you're not talking to me, Para, because I was more like 16, 15 when the Black album came out, I think, around there. Yeah, Martin, I would agree that Injustice for All definitely has better drumming than the other stuff that I've heard. Ryan, I'm sure that Blake would fucking tear this song up. Blake is the best part of Between the Buried and Me, in my opinion. Blake Richardson is fucking sick drummer. Oh, okay. You were talking to Jim, Sarah. Sorry. I was like, yeah. Yeah, Herman, how did you feel about Black since you were kind of past the 20s? Typical Kurt kind of solo. Oh. Herman says it best. Meh. I'm guessing you're joking, Cucumber. Sounds very one. It's a very one verse. Wow. I'm surprised it hasn't gotten blocked yet. What the fuck? So for all you Metallica fans that are out there, what is the best Metallica album? I'd be interested. I'm not, again, a huge Metallica fan. I do like Black. Very poppy but metally. It was like a good mix of like pop and metal together. I think Injustice for All probably had the most intricate kind of music, I would guess, out of the other ones. And of course, Ride the Lightning had just straight fast kind of stuff. I'd just be interested in what all you actual Metallica fans that really love them. I think because of when I was introduced, or because I listened, I had no musical background in my family whatsoever growing up, at all, zero. So I listened to, I remember being in middle school and listening to like Ice Ice Baby, Boys to Men. That was kind of the stuff that I would recognize. I think the closest, I didn't know anything rock at all. And then I got into high school, and my sophomore year, I met my friends at the time, Tony and Nick, who were in a band, because I met them in choir class. Met Tony in choir class. And they invited me over to their house, and I went down to their basement, and they had a band, and they started playing. And that was my kind of first introduction to like musical instruments, like, and bands and stuff like that. That would have been my freshman year of high school, sophomore year of high school. So then that is about the time that the Black album was really kind of kicking off or whatever. And I remember liking that a little bit. And I remember thinking Lars is such a great drummer. And then less than 6 months after that is when I first heard Pull Me Under by Dream Theater. And I even remember trying to defend that Lars was the best drummer I had heard. And then we watched Live in Tokyo, the video of Dream Theater live in Tokyo. And I just, after that video, was like, this is a whole new level of musicianship, and couldn't believe it. And then I just kind of, that's probably why I left Metallica behind, because it was just like, I listened to the Black album and listened to a little bit of Injustice for All because of one, and it was popular, and I was just starting to learn a musical instrument. And then I discovered Dream Theater like immediately, and it was just kind of like, I'm going to be interested in this. And I just didn't really start paying attention to Metallica much anymore. The thing I give Metallica the most, Jason, sorry, but Danny Carey is not the best. He's really, really good, but he's not the best. And so to like move into this different era of stuff was really cool. And how I think the thing I liked Metallica the most was James' voice. And I remember always saying, because when I first discovered Dream Theater, just like everybody else, I was like, I don't like the singing. The singing's terrible. And I just didn't like James's voice, even at the time. And then it grew on me a little bit more. But I remember saying even then, I wish that Dream Theater had a James Hetfield. Although I don't think James could sing Dream Theater type stuff. But just the sound of the voice is very appealing. And I think that is one of the few great singers in the history of rock and roll. I mean, James Hetfield's voice is iconic. It fits. It's really, really good. So, yeah. James Hetfield is like, I think, at least 50% of why Metallica is who they are. At least. And I'm not just talking about I'm talking about his voice is at least 50%. And then the rest of it is awesome, too. So, yeah, Danny Carey is a fave, but he's definitely not the best. And I don't know if you guys saw it. I mentioned it before. I was actually quite surprised when he tried to play YYZ live with Getty. He didn't do that. I mean, he did okay. He did good, but he definitely messed it up a couple of times, which was surprising for me to see. And I don't mean like little missed things here. I mean like the tempo was messed up, and it was kind of weird to see that from a professional musician. But all right. Let's get in the next book section. Chapter 4. Chapter 4 says, that was the year 1997. I was spending a year in England as a French teaching assistant. Ooh. Have you had a lot of sex, Jean-Francois? I really want to know that. As like a French teaching assistant in England, I'm sure they loved you. While browsing in a CD department after I just banged 4 girls, a thing I did a lot at the time, next to banging 4 girls, I came across 2 reviews made by sales assistants that mentioned progressive metal. Completely intrigued by the description, I blindly bought 2 albums by 2 bands that I discovered at the same time. Falling into Infinity by Dream Theater, which was probably their least progressive album at that time, for sure, and The Divine Wings of Tragedy by Symphony X. While not instantly clicking with DT's album that I came to appreciate more with time, although attracted by their accessibility and influences, the first track off the album by Symphony X literally grabbed me. There was a kind of cheesy delivery. I already knew Nightwish at the time, but I found a lot of groove in the heaviness and unusual type of rhythm. That was the day I discovered progressive metal with some symphony here and the amazing, powerful voice of Russell Allen. In other words, the sensation of best of both worlds. Later on, Symphony X became the first band of its genre that I saw on stage just 1 mile from my home in 2000. Of Sins and Shadows is not a favorite track of mine, but it was a new step that led me to a lot of different bands in the same vein. Going one step further with Dream Theater's Scenes from a Memory, one of my favorite albums of all time, because it's one of the best albums of all time. So, we are now going to listen to Symphony X of Sins and Shadows, which is Adrian Dubb's favorite band. Joke. Okay, let's see if ooh, I like this. Ooh, oh. There's some double time for you, Colin. Okay. Oh, I forgot to, I'm gonna have to say 3-1-2. I forgot to do the last one. That was very cool. Train of Thought is nowhere near as good as Metropolis 2. Sorry. I think Sir Russell sounds good here. Even though I don't dig necessarily the style. Oh, that bass sounds very farty. I call it a farty bass sound. Martin, have you seen my videos of DT ranked albums and songs? If you haven't, go watch it. Yeah, I've said this before many times. I don't like his delivery. Like, it sounds like talking lyrics. It's like less melody and just like I just... Okay, that's a melody. But the verses, I feel like it's just talking the lyrics through. Yeah, more like this. Martin Images is my second favorite album. Wink, wink. Well, depending on how you define album. Okay, here comes the solo according to Colin. Dude, Romeo is so freaking awesome. Ooh, nice keyboard. Dude, this back and forth is sick, making the song much better for me. I'm actually going to put this second. Martin, I think you'd be quite surprised because I put When Dream and Day Unite higher up there than most people. I think it's a fucking sick album. Minus the engineering, of course. But it's not enough to take away from how good some of the songs are. Adrian puts this one last. How surprised are we? Yeah, see, I like when they're heavy like this. Dude, is it Dominion or Domination? I can't remember. Domination, I think is what it's called. Is that it? Yeah, Domination, that we listened to a week or so ago, was 2 weeks ago now, is such a freaking good song. Yeah, Domination is so good. That kind of Symphony X, man, is my kind of Symphony X. This one was okay, started out a little cheesy, and I think Jean put it perfectly. Like, it's an alright song. It's not great. But I think a lot of what Russell does in the verses is just like speaking lyrics, and I just can't stand that. Like, I just wish there'd be more melody to it. It's like, and I've always said, I don't think Symphony X is the most, I think they're one of the worst actually at like lyrical content. But anyway, that song I think was okay, and it got better at the end, especially the keyboard and guitar solo going back and forth was pretty good. Adrian is very, very serious about his dislike of Symphony X, or thinking that they're overrated. I definitely don't think they're overrated. I think their heavy stuff is just as good as all the other bands that we have on here. Their neoclassical-ish kind of cheesy stuff is not for me. It's kind of like Devin. It reminds me of Devin Townsend. Devin Townsend, his like peaceful, ethereal kind of wall of sound songs are so good, and then like his quirky, weird songs are just so dumb. I can't stand them. So it's just, yeah, it's a very black or white kind of band for me. Symphony X is the exact same way. They're just they either hit me really hard and really good and it goes on a playlist immediately, or it's just like, yeah, definitely not for me. All right, let's get to chapter 5 of this novel. This is the last song for the day. He says, 2004 was a year that saw me keeping on refining my musical tastes, among which the release of major albums such as Pain of Salvation's B or Arion's The Human Equation. Also, my first Dream Theater concert for the Train of Thought tour, amazing set list in Paris, I bet. Train of Thought had some great songs on it. But my thirst for musical knowledge was still upon its way. I was not into growling vocals at the time, and I was even kind of repelled by them, but the name of a certain band regularly appeared in different musical articles with a good deal of praise. Once again, I said to myself, hey, why not? If you don't like it, just go on your way. It is strange because I remember I put myself in a kind of mental preparation for what was about to come, as if I had to pay some respect in case I would not catch it or like it. I bought the 2 albums that formed a... What the hell is a diptych? I've never heard of that. Is that an English word? Did you just teach me an English word? You just made my wiener wet. One from 2003, the other from 2004. One heavy, one mellow, and this is the first of which that I put into my CD player for the discovery. The album was called Paravarium. No, actually, Para's going to like this. The album was called Deliverance. The track was Wreath. 11 minutes of awe. Extreme amazement and terror at the same time, something I really did not expect. Very dark and uncomfortable, but with some kind of tragic feeling beautifully crafted in that darkness. Surprisingly providing some melody in that elegant brutality. Man, you're just like, ugh. I'm sure you got a lot of girls wet. I bet you're even better in French. Well, it reminds me of that scene in Matrix 2 Reloaded when the Merovingian says like French is the something language especially to curse in. And then he like goes off and curses in French. He's like, it's like wiping your ass with silk. So I'm sure if you're this sensual with the English language, I bet your French Jean-Francois just gets guys and girls wet. All right, so especially Cucumber. I'm sure Cucumber is over there just stroking it. He says, very dark and uncomfortable, but with some kind of tragic feeling, beautifully crafted in that darkness, surprisingly providing some melody in that elegant brutality. What a great sentence you just wrote there. This is as if I made it up to a next level after beating a boss in a video game. It is definitely a track that is not easy to digest, even if we are used to the style, and absolutely not something I would recommend for a first listening to the band. But this is how I entered the world of Opeth and never came back, becoming to that day among my favorite bands of all time. Even if I don't enjoy all types of growls, I don't mind them since that time. I can even appreciate scream vocals like Between the Buried and Me that I'm sure you will enjoy in 2 years to come. According to Baggins, I guess that's going to happen, so we'll see. He says, I hope you will have had fun listening to the tracks and hearing bits of the story of my musical journey. I would love to hear the community's defining songs like this, possibly in the next sets. As late artist John Miles simply stated in his song Music from 1976, music was my first love and it will be my last. Music of the future and music of the past. To live without my music would be impossible to do. In this world of troubles, my music pulls me through. What a great little stanza there. So this is Opeth Wreath, which is fucking 11 minutes long. So here we go. Oh. Drums. Holy shit. It's like fucking punch you in the face right away. like the halftime after that brutal kind of entry. I'm telling you, the only growls that I can kind of handle, these right here. So brutal on the drums. Para, you say it's not an easy listen, but so far I'm digging it. It's like in my upper level, not my top 10 or 5 or whatever Opeth songs, but it's so far the upper levels. See where it goes. It is 11 minutes long, so. The drums so far are what's standing out in the song to me. Like, Opeth's drumming is good, but it's nothing special to me. Partly because the music doesn't allow for it to be really special and creative, in my opinion, because it's pretty repetitive. But this is what he's doing here. Is creative and cool and fucking brutal in that fastness at the beginning. Era, I'm interested why you think this is. I mean, so far I'm digging this. I'm telling you, the drums in this song are some of the better drums I've heard in any Opeth song we've listened to. I'm not trying, I mean, I know you Opeth fans are going to be fucking spazzing on this, but in all the songs that we've heard of Opeth, and we've heard a lot of them, the drums are good and solid, but they've never been like the thing that maybe been like, wow, it's just not the music for that. Like this song, he's doing a lot of cool stuff. I can't even do that. Dude, Harlequin Forest, hell yes. Okay. Dude, this is one of my better Opeth songs. Colin and Martin certainly have a lot to say about this song. Dog barking, had to shut him up. It's interesting. Let me clarify, Cucumber. I'm saying it's in the upper half of my songs that I like by Opeth, but it's not in the top 5 or 10 or anything like that. Yeah, his drumming in this song is definitely better than a lot of the other songs that they play. Maybe it's because of the song itself, which is maybe why I like it. Maybe this song just has more breathing room to do stuff, which again, a lot of Opeth songs are pretty repetitive, so it's harder to do. An actual solo. I like that. Yeah, nice transition there into this next part. Realized that something was going on. Let's see if it pops up for everybody. Okay, it says there's 6 people back here. Anybody here? Anyone home? Anyone home? Yeah, I don't know what happened, but at the bottom right, it just turned red and it just like stopped, which again, I think this is a YouTube issue because my internet is not down. It just decided it just didn't want to work anymore. So, all right, so it looks like Ryan's here. Although I can't see the chat. How do I refresh the chat without stopping the stream? That is the question. Can I refresh the chat? Participants. Let's see. Okay, so it looks like we got some people back. We only got a couple minutes left of the. Well, it looks good to me. It's not frozen to me. So we're just going to continue with this. I just don't understand why it just decided to stop streaming. A little skeptical about that, but yeah. So the problem is I can't refresh really. I just tried to fix it, and I guess it worked, but yeah. So I just don't understand why it does this. But dude, there are people who do streams for 3-4 hours long. So it can't be that the fact that it's an hour. It's just they're retarded. So let's finish the song and then we'll be done. But here we go. Let's do it. I'm just going to restate it for the people who, I don't know, might just be joining in after the stream stops. I'm digging this song. It's in my upper half, not in my top 10 or anything like that, but it's in my upper half of Opeth songs. The drumming specifically is more interesting. There was an actual guitar kind of solo-ish, which, again, guitar solos and drumming creativity as far as, I mean, again, it's good. Never stands out to me when I listen to Opeth songs. It's more the composition that makes Opeth songs good to me. Not the right speed. I'm just playing the song. Oof. Like that ending too. Definitely like that ending. Let's see, where am I going to put that? I can't even remember what I had. Where is it? I can't see it. I can't remember what I had, and I had to copy the stream code. I would put that in the middle as far as today. Oh, yeah. Sorry about that. Thanks for letting me know. The intro scene. Yeah, I'd put that in the middle. I don't think I would put that as my top song of the day. But yeah, it was definitely good. Definitely good in my upper half of Opeth songs. So let me try to explain myself about the drums, since Para and other people keep saying you guys are focused on the technique of a drummer. So there are several studio drummers out there that are excellent drummers, and they play for bands or they do work for certain music. That saying is, it